All right, it's that time to take a walk into the locker room for the first time this brand new week. It's 16 minutes past 8 a.m. It's the 17th day of February 2025. It's a Monday, a money making Monday, and of course, a great time to talk about all the sporting action. Ayokunmi Kikiriakun right here, ready to take you into that beautiful world of sports. So many things to talk about. The weekend packed with so many events, the highs, the lows. We are here for it all. And we, being myself, of course, and the one and only bright, sprightly, and ready to go. Tega Supreme in the studio. Good morning to you, Tega.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're a better liar than Ayokunmi is, but hope you had a great
Wow,
weekend.
wow.
What happened this weekend?
Man United collected.
No, they didn't even collect anything. People that are collecting are themselves. One goal is not collect. All right. So what happened this weekend? Oh, this was the NBA All Star weekend. We're going to touch on that. And how a guy is making more money from winning the dunk contest than from his entire basketball career. It's baffling, I know. All right. Well, we'll also talk about world number one Yannick Sinner suspended for 3 months. But that's not the tough part. You're about to be as upset as I am when we get to that story. But first of all, I also want to talk about Khadija Shaw. She plays for Manchester City women.
Women, yeah.
Yeah, so Manchester City women, you know that they won their match this weekend. She scored two of the goals. But I was just glad to see her play because she had suffered racist abuse 2 weeks before and she didn't play the next game. She was like, I can't do this. Um, and then she comes back eventually to get to play the game. I was happy to see her at least smiling on the pitch, putting the ball in back of net because she wasn't enjoying her time out at her last match. So tough one, but great to see her back on the pitch and doing what she loves.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it was good to see. Then I saw Arsenal play Tottenham in the women's version of the London Derby. 5-1. Was it 5-1 or 5-0? They beat Tottenham.
They will have five.
There was 5 goals inside.
Yeah.
That's the one that was sweeting me. They beat Tottenham to show them that the dominance is complete. So that was beautiful to watch. So if you're on that cable network we used to watch, you can catch women's football there. So it was great to see that women's football on television. We will get there someday. So all of that and more coming up. No, we're not talking about women's. I've already spoken about women's football.
Yeah.
I've already spoken about Khadija. So now we are going to focus on the focus. Jude Bellingham may get a 12-match suspension because he spoke. Put stone in your mouth next time. Put stone in your mouth. All right. So all of that and more inside the locker room. But first of all, Ayokunmi, tell us how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
All right, so join us in the locker room this morning to sharing all the great stuff, the banter as well. We look forward to hearing from you each and every single day. We do not take it for granted. So send your messages into WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981 0809 444 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. You can also get the studio line down. You might decide to open it. You never can tell, but have the number down anyway. 0201 4489 981 0201 4489 981. Also join us on YouTube. That, believe me, is where all the fun is. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Uche Naoko is already there. Ibrahim Hassan as well. I see you. LK. Oh, LK came out despite what happened.
LK, you have boldness.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good to see you. Anyways, let's start from the NBA, where Mac McClung jumped over a car on his way to winning his third straight NBA slam dunk contest at the All-Star Weekend in San Francisco.
Nothing new. It's been done before. The difference was the jumping over the car is not the new one. It's nothing dramatic. The difference was the reverse dunk. So when Blake Griffin jumped over the car, he just jumped over the car and then did the dunk. But this time McClung spun around and did the reverse with his back. So interesting one there. Nothing really new about the slam dunk contest, apart from the fact that everybody is mad. Mark McClung plays in the G League. So I know they say white men can't jump except you're Mark McClung, but he plays in the G League. He makes more money from winning the dunk contest than from playing basketball.
I can understand putting all your energy into
Yeah,
that.
this is his third year running, and people are just mad, because how did we go from the days when the Michael Jordans and the Kobe's and the what's his name, Vincent Carters were competing in the slam dunk contest? Now we are
Vince
now
Carter.
looking at random people, and some people blame LeBron for this, and I agree. There's Look, LeBron has carried a lot of weight, but the weight, the responsibilities he was supposed to carry, he did not carry them. So why are you carrying unnecessary weight? It's not my business. Because he was one of the first people to start this. I'm not playing in a slam dunk contest. I don't want to pick up an injury. Were you not still injured at the All-Star game yesterday? Were you not in street clothes? Did you play? Was it the slam dunk contest that got you injured, or because you're 40? Let's just start getting the facts out there. Because that's what it used to be. The stars used to make other stars want to compete.
Exactly.
So imagine you trying to go up against, a Michael Jordan then. In fact, just think about if the 3-point contest now. You'd see the likes of Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, and the rest participating in the 3-point contest. Why? Other people now want to challenge them. Dame Lillard, he didn't defend his championship. He lost in the very first round this year. But the fact that he was there, everybody said, bringing on their game. You need to have that. So it started with LeBron not wanting to compete, and everybody was just like, if LeBron doesn't, well, what am I trying to prove? And it took dovetailed from there. And so now we have a G League contestant. I'm supposed to watch this and be clapping. Anyway, so but it was still a great all-star weekend. I had fun at the celebrity game. It was ridiculous. Wait, so when you sit in your house on the couch and you're telling them, do this, do that, and then the ball comes to you and you realize that you can't even make a bucket.
That's when you know it's not beans.
I laughed at Drewski. I laughed at Kaisenat. Look, I knew Kaisenat was short, but on the basketball court, he is minuscule. He is not just short.
Wow.
He's like a dot. He was
Ah.
like, he know how to start talking himself up. He was like, put the ball in the basket before it's called basketball.
Wait, where you put that before?
He eventually scored 5 points, so we clap for him.
I mean, looking at someone you said is minuscule on the basketball court, that's in itself.
No,
is a
somebody,
win.
let me tell you, his point. Somebody had to wait for him. Stood right by the court. The person could have scored it, but he was like, let me just give Kaisen that. So there was no defense. There was nothing. It was just him and the hoop. If he missed that, he's not supposed to be there. But it was great to enjoy the All-Star game, the All-Star celebrity game, and then the All-Star game last night was great because they changed the format. So they had like 4 different teams. So it was no longer just East versus West or World versus USA, whatever other formats people are wanting. It was a mini tournament. So different Chalk team, he just chose the stars, all of them Jokic, Wembayana, who likes to read before he plays every game. Shea, Gilchrist, Alexander, he chose all those people. And then Shaq went for all the OGs. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Kyrie, the OGs, and they were the ones that won the tournament.
I mean, old is gold.
Old is gold, man. So it was a beautiful all-star weekend, if you ask me personally. But just to see, I want to see NBA stars because all-star weekend. Let the NBA stars get into the dunk contest. It's that simple.
Bring back the glory to the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Really. Okay, let's head into the world of tennis, where Daniil Medvedev says he hopes Yannick Sinner's doping ban will create a precedent so that other players can reach similar settlements with anti-doping authorities in the future. When I saw this particular story, I tweeted at you on
yeah,
Twitter that
and
3
that what will
months.
happen. Yeah. So
How?
let me look. If you hear if you're just reading this Medvedev statement, you'll be lost. But you have to understand who is saying it. Medvedev is the most sarcastic person on planet. This was sarcasm. Because, and this is where I'm going to take it, because Yannick Sinner negotiated his settlement. He wasn't punished. He failed a doping test twice. People have been banned 2 years, not for failing the drug test, but because they went to the wrong hotel at the wrong time. There's a guy literally went to the wrong hotel, had told had put it on the website that he's changing hotel. He had to change his hotel last minute. And when he got to the tournament, for some reason, something happened at the hotel. So he went to another hotel. He had to change this last minute. And he put it on the site. Unfortunately for him, by the time he uploaded, the antidote test person was already coming to him. So the person got to that hotel and they'll get there, they'll wait for an hour. So that if he went to the supermarket, you can come back. The person waited for an hour and then went back. And that unfortunately was the third test he was missing. Suspended for 2 years. He didn't fail the drug test.
He just missed it.
He missed it. Now, I understand why those laws were put in place. And it is a law. So he served this time quietly. But for somebody to fail the test, not once, but twice, in 2024, where they are masking agents, so that the masking agents can cover really the amount of the drugs you really took. So at the end of the day, they'll say, oh, we found no wrong intent for wrongdoing. It just came across as or negligence, in fact, because of the trace amount of something found. He failed it twice. He went to the anti-doping. He negotiated his terms of release.
On what basis?
Exactly. So Medvedev is saying, now that you have negotiated with Yannick Sinner, hope this is the new precedent, that if you catch me failing drug tests, me too, you allow me to negotiate.
As simple as that.
This is a precedent to say that. So this is sarcasm. This is not saying, oh, it was a great thing that they did. No, he's saying if he could negotiate a settlement, because it's a settlement, it's not a punishment. And I remember when athletes used to be so anal about this thing. They're very careful about the water they drink, where they go, because if you failed any test, they'll hold you down. Now, all of a sudden, an athlete can say, I was preparing food for my mommy's cancer and her medicine was caught on the same board, and that's how the drugs got into my system. Or I kissed a girl at the club and that's how the drug got into my system. Now, athletes can just say nonsense and get away with this settlement.
And the funny thing is, this 3 month period, he's not going to miss any Grand Slams or anything.
No. He's going to come back right in time for all the, well, he meet a few masters, but really, who cares?
But that won't affect his ranking, will it?
No, no, he doesn't even, it's not, Tega, calm down.
Breathe.
Let's go to the next story. Leave Yannick Sinner alone. So I'm not going to really fault Yannick Sinner. I'm faulting the system. So I'm not angry at Yannick Sinner. I'm angry at the system that lets Yannick Sinner negotiate a settlement. That's my problem. It's all messy. So even if there was no intent, he has no foot to stand on. He negotiated a settlement. Are you kidding me? Even last man will not let me to negotiate settlement. They will tow my car to their office.
I mean, they are in the positions to actually say to you. But anyways, we'll take a very quick break right now. When we come back in, we'll come into the world of football and talk about this certain Ruben Amorim, who looks like his hair is already beginning to thin out as Manchester United manager. I could be wrong, but on the other side, we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere.
So again, it has to cover his world #1 ranked player. So it's not a good look because of it's world #1 player. It's not a good look because of how they handled it when it happened.
So they had to like save face.
So they're saving face, and he has like now it's like, but you said there was no.
Well, okay,
there was no negligence at their mouth.
What's the fallout going to be from this happening?
That's what Medvedev is saying. That hope this is a new rule. That when they catch all of us, we'll now go and negotiate our terms and conditions.
Don't go and shift goalposts.
Don't go and shift goalposts. That's all he's saying. That's the sarcasm that was there. People were like, oh, what's Medvedev? He's not talking in favor. He's not saying Yannick Sinner is guilty or not. He's just saying, now that people have handled it like this, hope this is the rule you were following to the end.
Because I mean, you cannot.
Not that you branch.
You can't pick and choose.
Yeah, because they have picked and chosen. Think about it. Simona Halep served 4 years.
4 years is a long time.
And they didn't even want to listen to her. They didn't even want to listen to her case. She had to push and push and push. It was cast, and I said, okay, she's going to be suspended for 9 months. But they're going to backdate. Meanwhile, she sat at home for 4 years, and now she's had to retire because, her body started picking injury. After she's done.
4 years. When she don't keep pursuing.
There are too many situations where people when Yannick Sinner could negotiate his own release. Wow.
That's just ridiculous. Alrighty, welcome back into the locker room on a Monday morning. This is Smooth 98.1. Your love music, love life, love sports station. Ayokunmi here. Tega alongside me. We are talking about the sporting action from over the weekend.
Yes, I love Amorim too.
We love Amorim as well. I say that with all the sarcasm I can actually muster. But anyways, please join us this morning to share your love or otherwise for Ruben Amorim by sending your messages to us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 Studio line is 0201 4489981. YouTube, we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. And wow,
Yeah,
YouTube
the
folk
messages are
have a
coming in.
lot
Let's just
to
go into the
say.
story. Let's go to the Roman story.
Indeed. All right. Man United boss Ruben Amorim said his job is so hard, in quotes, after defeat to Tottenham left his side 15th in the Premier League. Championship, here we come.
Look, I don't know what he's saying. I did this. People follow me on YouTube because people should be. I did this thing about Manchester United, Ruben Amorim and the poison chalice that Manchester United has become. I, I don't know how he did not know that this was the problem. Did he think he thought they fired Eric Ten Hag because the job was easy?
He didn't collect updates.
You know, enough people. You know, when you sit outside, you can have the solution.
It's always sweet too.
Have you ever seen people that sit outside? They say, no, you should have done this. You shouldn't have done that.
Every single time.
Everybody has the
Every single
solution
time.
from outside. Enter inside the pot.
Even we that are watching football, you should have brought in this person and taken that person out.
The only thing I know is that ultimately those players are the problem. You people can't tell me nothing. I know that the box stops at the manager's desk, but those players are the problem.
It's like plan work.
Half the problem, the players. The other half, you can now say Ruben Amorim being a stickler to what he knows. Because the truth of the matter is, if you have ogbono, it's ogbono soup you can cook. You can't try to cook egusi soup or afang soup with ogbono.
That is true.
So there are some things that he likes to be a stickler to that you say, do not do that. But however, half the problem are the players. Because it is not Ruben Amorim that told Gamacho this chance that he could have put in the back of the net, he should sky it over the bar. He's not the one that told Hoyland to be running around like headless chicken when he has people passing the ball to him. He's not the one that told Zexi that, this your hair that is standing is finer than the football that you're playing, and that's okay. There are too many problems in Manchester United and too many players not picking up their slack for you to now say, I mean, even the goal they conceded. When I watch it, the first time I watched it, I was like, let me not blame Onana, because I'm too quick sometimes to blame Onana. You know, the Cameroon Nigerian thing. When I watched the replay, I was like, Onana, true. That ball, the pace that ball was coming, you could have just pushed it to the side. I didn't say catch it, but he didn't have to push it back into play. He could have pushed it around the corner. The pace at which the ball was traveling. And so, when you see all these little bits, why do you want to blame Ruben Amorim for that? I know the only thing is, yes, his job, I mean, for him to realize that his job is hard only now is what is shocking me. From the first day I went to training, I would have known that the job was hard.
But you know what, Tega, I think as far as I remember, I think he made only one change. Now, did he have anything to lose?
No. He couldn't. Look, he had something to lose. Trust me, those boys had no minutes of, apart from what's his name, Lindelof. Everybody there was from reception. Did you see their faces? They looked green. You know, if you look at Miles Lewis Kelly, he's young, but he looks like he has experience. If you look at Wannery, he's young, but he looks like he has experience. Why? Because they have tasted of the Premier League. Tough matches, easy matches. They've tasted small. Those boys, they look like they're about to write Wyatt.
So he was protecting them in a nutshell.
I think when the game got harder, it made it harder for him to bring in inexperienced players. That's what I mean. Because if it was still 0-0, you could have said, okay, let me test something. But it was 1-0. Or if they were
1-0 in United's favor.
If it were 1-0 in United's favor, he would have said, let me try. But they were trying to get back into the game where the experienced players were struggling. You now said he should put in experience. When they put Chidobe, what did Chidobe do?
He had only 2 minutes on the pitch.
What did he do in those 2 minutes? Even ball, they did not touch. So I think that's why he was caught between the rock and the hard place.
Mm.
Mm.
Oh well, Ruben, your job is a tough one. I feel for you. Just try not to lose your hair. Don't be like Pep. All right, let's head over to the Serie A, where Juventus stopped Inter Milan from replacing Napoli at the top of the Serie A on Sunday by beating their first rivals 1-0 and moving into Italy's Champions League positions. What
Exactly.
what
This
is Inter
Scudetto and
just
the La Liga,
doing?
people should just leave it. In fact, they should give it to Arsenal. Arsenal deserve to win something. They should just give the Scudetto or the La Liga to Arsenal. They want something. Because I don't understand it. Napoli dropped points earlier in the day. Juventus had all day, excuse me, to strategize, to plan.
I mean, Inter.
Sorry, Inter had all day to strategize, to plan on how to beat Juventus. Juventus are the draw merchants. And they started the game off brightly, running at Juventus, creating chances. But for some reason, it was the day that Lautaro Martinez and Thuram, I almost said Milan Thuram, that's the time.
Marcus.
Marcus Thuram, his brother was also playing, I mean, on the other team, but you can imagine if you're Leland Thuram and seeing your pension plan just flee.
Ah!
So Marcus Thuram, everybody just, this was the day that they all decided that we are going to do too much. And that's how they lost the first half. They created chances, they had opportunities, they just didn't do what they just didn't keep it simple.
Mm.
And that's how they went in the first half without scoring a goal. So by the second half, the longer the game goes without you scoring, the harder it becomes. And then Juventus presses and Conceição puts the ball in the back of the net. And then it becomes an uphill climb from there. Now you really have to force the issue, and Juventus are not ready to give up. So it was a really tough night. I was disappointed with the way they approached the game, especially in the first half. That's what made it difficult. Because you knew your job.
Definitely.
Napoli had dropped points. Take advantage. Simple.
As simple as that. Ah, Inter Milan. Inter Milan. Okay, should we?
No, let's take one more story.
One more story. All right. Let's get into Spain and the La Liga, where Barcelona are focusing on producing strong performances rather than looking at the La Liga standings with a long way to go in the title race, according to coach Hansi Flick.
Yeah, I think that'll be the best way to do. Just match after match, focus on getting as many 3 points as possible.
Mm.
And that's what he has to look at now. If they win tonight's match, they go top of the table.
That's right.
Tonight's match against Rayo Vallecano, they go top of the table. But that's all they can do really, and he has the right idea. But it's a tough one because the way teams are coming at them today, they play good. Tomorrow they do not play good. Think about it. Real Madrid played first, dropped points. Atletico Madrid was like, this should be an easy match for them. Then they picked up a red card very early in the match, which put them at a
Under
numerical disadvantage.
Yeah.
And then they score a goal, and they should have been protecting. Then they gave away a cheap penalty. So it was against Celta Vigo, who had been struggling to get points off Atletico Madrid. So it's matches that should have been winnable by both Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, and they drop points. So Barcelona should not think, oh, just because they drop points is guaranteed I'm going to get all 3 points.
Mm.
You just turn out to be like Inter. You're celebrating when you have not yet crossed the finish line.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a tough one. But speaking about La Liga, in that Real Madrid's game, Jude Bellingham picks up a red card for something he said. I hope he said Premier League referees are better than you, because that's the only reason why anybody should get a straight red card. And people are not talking about getting him. He's going to get a potential 12-match ban. I think that'll be harsh. Because sometimes in the heat of the moment, people say some things, and I understand that there should be punishment, but 12 matches. He didn't break anybody's head. Calm down.
I just wonder what it is that
I wonder what it is that he said, actually.
Would, warrant talk of a 12
And if he
match
said
ban.
it in English, with his British accent, he could make it even harsher. So let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
Mm.
Alrighty, let's head back into the Premier League, where Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has praised match winner Mikel Merino for his ability to sense danger in the opponent's box after the midfielder's 2 late goals as a makeshift striker against Leicester City earned a precious 2-0 win on Saturday.
I will say this, first of all. Arsenal fans, fasten your seatbelt. Because Mikel is saying he's seeing striker-like potential in Merino, which means that you're not buying striker.
Number 9.
Number 9, that's a very... Merino will go and clear goalkeeper. That's what it's going to. Because It is ridiculous. People are already complaining that you do not have the right, you did not go to the transfer market to get the right players. And they're complaining about starting Raheem Sterling. Look, Raheem Sterling did one move 5 times. It did not succeed.
Sterling was awful in that
he
game.
tried it again. And it was not just that game. That move, I've seen him do it in other matches. And it didn't work. So you know that move where you face the person, try to cut and dribble the person, and then get ahead of the person. I've seen him try it in many matches. He tried it again multiple times on Saturday. It didn't work. He was still trying it. What do you think that it will work at the 100th time?
I mean, when you do something over and over again,
I don't know. And so I think it was the final straw. There was one final straw that I saw. I was like, if Mikel Arteta can't see this, he's half the problem. That was when Mikel substituted him because he was fed up. But yeah, for him to be saying he sees striker-like tendencies in Merino, it's a threat. It's not a compliment. It's a threat to Arsenal fans' mental health, as opposed to it being a compliment to Mikel Merino. I don't think with this squad that Arsenal have that they can really push for stuff. Because you saw how hard it was for them to score.
it was a struggle.
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle in that game.
And injury after injury. Really tough one.
Really, really tough one. Okay. LK. Well, we're here now. Now, Brighton defeated a woeful Chelsea. I didn't write it. It's in the news. Woeful Chelsea 3-0 as Japan forward Kaoru Mitoma produced a contender for Premier League goal of the season, and Yankuba Minte bagged a brace on Friday.
You know what they say about if you've done something before, you can do it again.
Do it again.
That's what Brighton did. That's what Brighton did. It was now even easier. That 2-1 defeat in the FA Cup, where they were saying there was handball, there was no handball, was a non-issue. This time, without controversy, with VAR, Brighton beat Chelsea by 3-0. It wasn't cold. There was no Cole Palmer. There was it was nothing.
If we're playing game and they're leading you 3-0, you drop out though.
Yeah, you just drop out and go home. Or you carry your ball and go home. whichever kind of person you are. But it was a tough one to see. And I have to come back to what Maresca did that was a little, in my opinion, a little arrogant. Because think about it, when they had that large dressing room, they used to be able to play anyhow, and they used to be able to get results. But Maresca was like, I'm going to shrink my locker room. I'm only coach of 21 players. You are. He shrunk his locker room and he started shrinking his results. So sometimes it's a blessing and it's a curse, but this would have been one of those moments, a plethora of players, but he hasn't had the opportunity. Has to use some certain players for FA Cup and use them again for Premier League and then use them again for Conference League
as well.
When he had a large dressing room, it was easy because there was competition. People were fighting for playing opportunity. I saw Vaega the other day in the Italian Serie A and I was like, oh, see life. So yeah, Maresca shrunk his locker room and shrunk his chances.
Well, anyways, it doesn't really mean much. They weren't in the title race to start.
Yeah, they said it since so that they weren't in the title race. They're just fulfilling scripture. All right, so let's take your messages because we're fast out of time.
Okay, I from Festac says, hello Tega. Don't you think it's high time we had a USA versus rest of the world instead of all this I1, I2 NBA All-Stars weekend?
I know what you mean, but it will also be unfair because the rest of the world has come to the USA to collect their whatever knowledge they have. They'll beat you in Nigeria, in USA, and in France. Goodness. All
right. From one ayah to another, AY, Nero says the Jude Bellingham situation this weekend just made me realize the high level of dishonesty in football. Listening to Carlo Ancelotti and some other football journalists trying to defend Jude by twisting the truth was just laughable, to be honest.
No, he actually said something bad, but 12 matches.
It's loud.
It's loud.
Chimabi Victor from Alaba International says, congrats to Manchester United and Amorim for not disappointing us, their supporters, with that loss against Tottenham. It was expected. Well, for my Arsenal, we can't stop winning, and for Real Madrid, they can't stop winning. And for Real Madrid, they just messed tickets up for most of us. Okay, Ibukun says, Bayender, Heaton, Evans, Martinez, etc. And
all the people that were missing
that's
were
two
missing.
Keepers and 10 players injured. It's so bad we can lose to any team. Now, God hand we day. Please leave Amorim alone. No, the matter gets as it be. 12 players out, 8 players doing rubbish. But Sir Alex Ferguson would have thrown on the young guns who will be courageous because no difference between 1-0 and 3-0. And says, Tega, it's like you're jealous of Xerxes' hair. Oh. Why are you beefing the hair? Please,
yes.
Beef is your hair touch.
Xerxes, Kukurea, what's the name of the other guy in Chelsea? Gusto.
Gusto.
Tell me what they're doing with their hair.
Fred says, Don't worry about Marino. We'll manage till the end of the season. Arsenal will definitely get a proper number 9. Struggles will surely come. Liverpool, with all the strikers, struggled yesterday. Arsenal fans, you never learn.
You never had that. Didn't
Uche,
they come away with 3 points?
Uche Nawokoye says, Man United relegation form. We have lost 8 out of 12 games, I think. They said ET was clueless, but which coach has actually done well in United? We're just lucky. The bottom teams are bad. That's why we won't relegate this season, Uchena. And
Southampton is already gone. Ipswich is not far.
Leicester.
So
LK Aderoba says Chelsea lost twice to Brighton within a span of less than 10 days. Maresca and Chelsea have lost the plot. With Jackson injured, I don't see Chelsea scoring a single goal till March. It says Ayo cannot shame the shameless. See.
Okay, let's read Pedro Pio.
Yes, Padre says, I came here to banter LK, but having read his message, decided to sympathize with him instead. Take heart, bro. It's hard being a Chelsea or United fan these days.
All right. And on that note, we want to thank you for sending your messages via WhatsApp and for streaming on YouTube. We also want to thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. This week, we have Barcelona today, and then this week we have Champions League. We have Champions League matches. So there's still a lot of football coming, and we'll be back with all the previews and reviews on Wednesday and on Friday. But for now, have a great week.
All right. Thank you so much, Tega. Looking forward to having you in the studio on Wednesday. And thank you for sending all your messages and keeping it tuned always to the locker room. You mean the world to us. And let's keep all the love going on. Keep it tuned to Smooth 98.1. Don't go anywhere.
Say bye-bye, Jerry.